Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time you are listening.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1.
We are your hosts. I'm Olivia.
And I'm EC.
And this is Sparta Speaks.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, guys, what is going on? EC, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am also doing great.
It is a fabulous Monday morning.
It is definitely not Monday morning, but it's Monday morning for you guys. Okay, first episode of Season 2. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. Hopefully this will be a good introduction to let everyone know who we are, what we're about, and why we are recording this podcast.
Yes, I agree. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, well.
Why don't you start, Olivia? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Olivia Swafford. I'm a junior. I am a football, basketball, and competitive cheerleader. Varsity for all three. Super, super fun. I'm not in season right now, which is really sad. I've just been going to baseball games, and I'm in IB Bio, but that's it. And yeah, EC, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a junior. I play softball and tennis. Tennis season is right now. If any of y'all want to come out and join, it's not too late. I do dual enrollment.
Oh yeah, me too. Forgot to say that.
And I love going out on the lake. Really,
me too.
It's really all there is to know about me.
Live on the lake, surf all the time.
Yep.
Always on the water, truly.
And it's about that time for IB applications.
Yes, it is that time for IB applications.
Do you have any advice for the upcoming juniors?
For the upcoming juniors, IB is a unique experience, and my advice would be to apply, I think. Because you can always withdraw. That's what you did. You can always withdraw. It's hard to get in, so.
I think that's good advice.
That's my advice. Apply even if you don't think you want to do it. Yeah. So tell us how tennis season has been going.
Tennis season it's been better than I thought it was, to be honest.
That's good.
I think that we are definitely improving as a team, which is always good, but there is definitely a lot that we need to work on. We had our first region match yesterday, Thursday. I don't know what day you're going to be listening to this, against Monroe. And that was definitely an
interesting game.
Yeah,
interesting match.
For sure.
Match? Yeah, tennis match.
I know the boys had a rough time. They lost for the lines, but shout out to Will Holman.
Shout out Will Holman.
I think that was one of the best games I've ever.
Round of applause for Will Holman, guys.
That is one of the best games that I've ever seen him play, or really listened to him play, because I was on the other court playing also.
Slay Will.
But
Will
should I tell the
Yes,
story?
tell the story, yes.
So, to set the scene, Thursday afternoon. Thursday afternoon at Alberta Banks Park. The weather was nice, a little bit
Picture
windy,
yourself there.
a slight breeze.
A slight breeze.
And Will was playing line 3 singles, and it was a rough match so far. It got up to a tiebreaker for the third set, I think. And it was a rough game going back and forth, an even matchup. And on the very last point, Will ended up losing the game. As soon as he did, he fell to his knees in disappointment. The Monroe player ran as quick as he could, jumped over the net, went to go,
console Will, literally.
Yeah, console Will. Was holding his hands. Will was on his knees,
pleading.
Disappointed. And he was the Monroe player said that he was the best player he's ever played, that he makes him do better, makes him play harder, best opponent he's ever had. And the Monroe coach said that she would trade every single one of her players for Will.
Clock it. That's crazy.
That's really the story. Congratulations to Will.
Congrats, Will.
You did awesome. So proud. Keep up the good work.
Shout out Will. Will got shouted out in my podcast too.
But I know y'all don't want to listen to me talk about tennis for 10 minutes straight. So let's let's change the topic here. Olivia, what are some of the things that we can expect on this podcast?
So on this podcast, I think we're going to focus on a comedic tone. I think this is going to be a very fun place to be for listeners, guests, hosts like myself and EC. And I think we're thinking about lots of segments that are going to add a fun vibe to the podcast. So we're going to go through the segments together, and we're going to show you our answers to each segment so you can kind of know what we're doing here. And then our guests will participate in the segments as well.
One of our segments is going to be Crash Out of the Week.
Crash Out of the Week!
So, Olivia, why don't you start us off strong? What was your Crash Out of the Week?
My Crash Out of the Week? I feel like I've been having a great week. Oh, no. I know my Crash Out of the Week. So, my Crash Out of the Week, right? Everyone who knows me knows that at this point, I have been fully consumed by Alani culture. Like, Alani is my life at this point, right? So I usually try to keep my fridge stocked so every morning I can reach in and get my Alani, right? So my least favorite flavor is probably peach. Like, I am not a peach fan. And so I go to get my morning Alani, and the only one I have left is peach. I have 2 peach left, right? So Wednesday, I get my peach Alani, and I'm really dreading that on Thursday, that's going to be my last Alani. So, like the irresponsible person that I am, I finished my last Alani on Thursday so that this morning, after my brother's baseball game, I wouldn't have a single Alani. So I woke up this morning, no Alani. Pain, honestly. And I spent the last 2 days in pain because I was drinking a peach Alani, which is not my favorite. So that's my Crash Out of the Week. I ran out of Alanis.
Thank you for your answer. My apologies.
Deepest and most sincere condolences.
It will get better.
It will. I'm currently joining rehab for Alani at this point.
Also, if y'all are listening to this right now, the first person that comes to me and says, what should the code word be?
Code word should be Crash Out.
Crash Out Alani.
Crash Out Alani.
If you come to me and you say Crash Out Alani, the first person to do it, I will buy you a Alani from the gas station on Tuesday morning.
As a thank you for listening to the renewed version of Sparta Speaks.
But only the first person, so you better be quick.
Better be quick. Get your listening ears on. Okay, EC. What was your Crash Out of the Week?
My Crash Out of the Week. Ooh, there was a lot, but as always.
Yes, correct.
But I think the biggest crash out was probably yesterday. There were so many things to crash out about. But first was my AP pre-calc test.
Yes.
Yay.
Love to see it.
I most definitely failed that. I was stressing the whole night before, and I left many questions unanswered. Then directly after that, I walked out to my car because I have a fishtails interview, and I realized that I forgot to get a copy of my ID. So I have to run back into the school, get Shannon to print me out a copy, run back to my car. Start driving to the...
Wait, you couldn't use, your card ID?
No, I had to get a copy of it so I could, give it to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm understanding.
So I start driving to the, Fishtails restaurant in Flowery Branch. Then I'm like, wait a minute. What if the interview is not at Fishtails? I never checked the location.
Oh.
I pull up the email. It's at Aquaterra in Buford.
Oh, no.
So I have to
It's a good thing you thought about it, because if you wouldn't, you would have been cooked.
pull a Yui, drive my way to Buford. I get there. There's nowhere to park.
Oh, perfect.
That was my first time parallel parking
In the wild.
on the main street
First
in
time
Buford.
parallel parking in the wild.
It was an experience. But then I walk in. Interview was great.
Yeah,
I got hired.
She did.
Um,
Looking at your newest Fishtails employee. Actually, there's probably more that have been added since your interview, but a new
Yeah.
Fishtails employee. I really hate parallel parking, if I'm being honest.
parallel
I try
parking.
to avoid it at all
sucks.
costs. It does. It really sucks.
But yeah, I'll have an update for y'all about my pre-calc test, but I definitely failed that, and then I had to parallel park. So
I definitely failed that, and then I had to parallel park. Yeah, it's a rough life out here, and that's why we're bringing Crash Out of the Week onto our podcast. I'm very interested to see what our guests have to say, considering our guests are adults. So what's their crash out gonna be? I'm excited.
speaking of sharing what people have to say, that brings us to our next segment, Spartan Snoop.
What a segue, EC. Yes, our next segment is Spartan Snoop. So the idea behind this segment is we're going to be asking our guests and I guess ourselves, just talking about what the craziest thing you've ever heard at school is, whether that be in the hallways, in the bathroom, just wondering about West Hall, the West Hall community. Honestly, it could be outside of West Hall, just in the West Hall community.
Olivia, what's your Spartan Snoop of the week?
Okay, so my Spartan Snoop isn't really a Snoop because it's like public knowledge, but I just want to bring this up. Coach Selman has resigned I don't know what the proper term for that is, as head coach of the girls basketball team, which is a topic of controversy because some people really like him, some people really don't. Speculation, who's going to take over? What does that mean for girls basketball? We shall see. Just the tea going on in the basketball community.
That's a good Snoop.
That is a good Snoop, even though it's not really a good Snoop because anybody could have found that on Instagram.
But you know what? That's okay because whoever's listening to this podcast
might not have seen it. Yeah, so this is my formal announcement.
I didn't know.
If you have any idea who's going to take over basketball, send it to us because we want to know and we want to be in the loop. Spartan Loop, Spartan Snoop, Spartan Loop, Spartan Loop.
Listen to Spartan Snoop to stay in the loop.
To stay in the loop. Spartan Snoop to stay in the loop. That's really good. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, see? What's your Spartan Snoop?
Today in healthcare, I snooped a little bit about Miss Pippins. Everybody's favorite sub.
Truly.
So apparently she was supposed to be our sub for Monday, and she backed out.
Oh,
Nobody really knows why, but the theory going around is that she hated our class so much that she decided to never come back.
Wow, that is so tea. Miss Pippins has clocked everyone's tea at some point or another, I fear.
Miss Pippins has got it together.
She does.
She's got her little lunchbox.
That slick back bun, it never lies. The slick back never lies.
And she's going to make sure that you have it together too.
Correct. She will.
Always asking about those SAT scores.
SAT scores, yeah. If you haven't taken your SAT,
don't let Miss Pippins know.
Olivia has not taken her SAT, but Olivia did take her PSAT.
Me either. I'm taking it on March 8th.
Are you actually?
Yep.
I need to schedule mine.
Wish me luck.
Where is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's good.
It's going to be another Fishtails interview
Yeah,
where I start going
like
the wrong
midway driving somewhere. Yeah.
The SAT is not one of my favorite things, but Olivia, tell me about some of your recent favorites.
Some of my recent favorites. I think this is going to be one of my favorite segments of the podcast because I get to talk about things that I like. Okay. There's a lot of things that I'm liking. Obviously, Alani, we talked about this earlier. Olivia's a big Alani fan, truly. And so is Coach Sarah, who we hope to have on the podcast soon.
Coach Sarah is one of my favorites.
Shout out Coach Sarah. No, she really is. She really is. Coach Sarah. Shout out Aram Molina, one of my favorites recently. I love that kid. He is the GOAT. His favorite is Tom and Jerry. He really loves Tom and Jerry. Music-wise, Olivia's been listening to a lot of Greta Van Fleet, per usual. Olivia loves Greta Van Fleet. Shout out Brittany Broski. No. Yeah, podcast-wise, like influencer social media, Brittany Broski, favorite ever. I love Brittany Broski. EC also loves Brittany Broski. And I hope that this podcast even touches the level of greatness that the Broski Report does because I love Broski Report. What else? Recent favorites. My birthday was February 13th, so I have lots of sweets. I got some bundt cakes for my birthday, and bundt cakes are a recent favorite. Bundt cakes are a favorite all the time, but I love bundt cakes. They're so good. Red velvet bundt cake. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
It's the best flavor.
What did I do? Music, podcast, food, people. Yeah. I've been watching The Secret Life of Morbid Wives recently because, shout out Helena, I just got on her Hulu. So, yes, it's been very interesting. That's a favorite show of mine. Yeah. That's my favorites.
Nice.
EC, what are some of your recent favorites?
Some of my recent favorites. I have really been enjoying some Cliff Bars lately.
Oh, bust down on Cliff Bars. What flavor?
The white chocolate, whatever it's
Macadamia
called.
nut
Yeah,
vibe?
yeah. But also, I've only had the peanut butter ones and those. So I need to...
I like the peanut butter one and the chocolate chip one. Those are good.
I need to try some...
Oh, and
other
the
flavors.
mint chocolate one. That one's really good.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That one's really good.
What else is another one of my favorites is sweet tea and lemonade, half and half.
Arnold Palmer.
Yes, always a favorite, but more recently it's been at the top of my list. What else has been my favorite?
You're always watching movies.
Making a podcast with my best friend.
Yes, this
That's
has also
definitely
been a favorite. Podcasting. Yes, of course.
Favorite movie? The last movie that I watched that I really liked was probably Dallas Buyers Club, but that's not a very school appropriate movie. So watch that.
Watch at your own
risk.
discretion. Yes. We're always on the letterbox grind. Actually, I've been slacking very severely recently.
Letterbox is a favorite.
Yes, letterbox is always a
Love reading
favorite.
reviews.
I'm
another favorite right now is Reddit. I've been in a
Reddit
Reddit
era.
holes.
Yeah. I honestly thought about bringing like a Reddit segment to like am I overreacting, that type of beat. I kind of thought about bringing that.
That would be good.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that?
Yeah,
Would
let
you
us
like to see
know.
that?
Let us know if you'd like to see a Reddit segment. Those are always so interesting to me.
Another one of my favorites is not being on my phone. Screen time is out.
Screen time is out. You heard it here first. Welcome to our next segment, ins and outs. EC, what are your ins and outs?
Well, some of my outs right now are, first of all, being on my phone.
Correct.
Another out is Apple Music right now.
Oh,
it's
wow.
really been on my nerves. Every time I hit shuffle, it plays the same 3 songs.
Oh, love it.
But you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, that is okay.
I just need them to fix it.
We're just hating on Apple Music.
Another out right now is failing my pre-calc exams. That is out.
AP pre-calc is just out in general, I think, for
Math
everyone.
is out.
This is a national experience. Math is really out for me since I'm not taking a math class.
You know what else is out? Is English 1101.
English 1101 is out. I can attest to that. I'm in English 1101. Annotated bibliographies, out. Out. What are some of your ins? What is in?
Oh, I thought ins and out was like the same thing as like your favorites. I thought that was like we were either gonna do one or the other.
Oh, I mean, probably. I was just going to put a positive spin on it and be like, what are your ins? Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to do like favorites and then like outs instead of like ins and outs.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? That's okay. This is a work in progress.
Correct. It always is. It always will be, I fear.
Hopefully the podcast get better as we go on. Also, this is going to be so much fun to edit because we've messed up. I've messed up so many times. Olivia's so doing great.
We're at 21:35 at the current moment.
The videos are a lot longer than that, but it's okay. We're doing this for you.
For you guys. Some of my outs. What is out recently? Canvas as a whole, out. I'm done. Canvas is out. I'm thinking more about my ins. I'm just feeling so positive.
I hate Canvas, especially Canvas emails. I don't know why they're so annoying.
Canvas emails. Blackboard is out. If you don't know, that's what we use for like our a lot of colleges do it. Alabama does it. Shout out Miss Nico. But yeah, Blackboard is just like the college version of Canvas, basically. Campus. What am I talking about? Blackboard's out. I hate Blackboard. I hate communicating on Blackboard. I hate completing assignments on Blackboard. I hate Blackboard. I could yap about Blackboard for a long time, but Blackboard is out. What else is out? Screen time. We've already talked about this, but recently, specifically, colors on your phone are out. My phone is black and white most times. I will get called out with it on colors because I told all my friends I'm doing it. But
this is your PSA to turn off the colors on your phone.
Turn off the colors on your phone. I have been influenced by EC. We're mutually going through a mid-high school crisis at the moment, and we're just making the most of every moment. So we're decreasing our screen time. We're not becoming screenagers, and I have turned off the colors on my phone to make it like less engaging, so that you're like more bored on your phone, right? And it low-key works, but I just keep forgetting to switch it back to color. I mean, like I'll switch it for something and then forget to switch it back to grayscale. But highly encourage you to put your phone on grayscale.
Agreed. Although it's kind of difficult right now because it's so cold outside. There's not much you can do inside except be on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what is out? It's cold weather.
Out. Cold weather is 1,000% out, and reading is in. Olivia is on her Kindle 24/7. I'm currently reading a Lauren Asher book. I don't recommend Lauren Asher. I'm kind of hating this book right now. I won't lie. But I just finished Tuesdays with Maury and the 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. graciously recommended by EC. And
Best books ever.
Yes.
And they're really short, so it's a good book to read.
we have a theory that the first one that you read is the one you like the most. I read Tuesdays with Morrie first, and I definitely like that book a lot more than The Five People We Meet in Heaven.
Although the more people I've asked, I've kind of come to a different conclusion.
You think,
I think
Tuesdays with Morrie is just better?
I think Tuesdays with Morrie is just better.
It's 1,000% better.
Although I think if you read Five People You Meet in Heaven first, you're definitely going to like it more than if you read Tuesdays with Morrie first.
My personal take on that is that I think Tuesdays with Morrie is more liked by the people because it like caters to you instead of like he gives you like a lot of personal life advice when you kind of have to like infer it from the Five People We Meet in Heaven. It's not as direct.
Yeah. With also I feel like you have to be at a very like specific point in your life.
Yeah, I agree.
To really like
Appreciate it.
Be affected by Five People You Meet in Heaven.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I do agree. But yeah, reading is in. Book recommendations, send them down below. Shout out Coach Raglan. She will be in the comments giving us our recommendations. And we love it. Shout out Learning Commons. Go check yourself out a book. Check out yourself a book. Check out yourself a book.
Check out a book.
Check out a book. Just check out a book. But yeah, those are our ins and outs. EC, do you want to turn it over to our listeners?
So we are very focused on making this podcast something that everybody will enjoy. And to do that to our best ability, we want to make sure that your questions are being answered, whether it's about the podcast or about anything around school, or even if it doesn't relate to school. You could just send in your questions and we'll give you...
Send in your questions. Send in your segment ideas. Send in your guest recommendations. We'll try our best to make it happen. We have some really fun and exciting guests we're in contact with recently, so we're super excited to get them on here.
We're looking for any feedback that you want to give us.
We are looking for feedback. Yes. I mean, obviously, EC, have you ever been a podcaster before?
No, I haven't. This is my first time doing it, and I really hope that y'all enjoy listening to me yap.
Honestly, we should just rename it to Olivia and EC yapping for 20 minutes.
What about you, Olivia? Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have filmed one podcast. I am not a podcaster, but I have filmed one podcast. Shout out Evan. Our podcast was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, we're both brand new, so please give us critiques. Let us know. Yeah, that's basically it for us. Thank you for listening. We highly encourage you to share the podcast. You know, this is the first episode, so tell your friends that Sparta Speaks is back. Follow us on Instagram at Sparta Speaks Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Olivia Swaff.
I don't really care or not if you follow me, but you should follow the tennis Instagram because we're trying to get more followers.
Follow West Hall High School Tennis on Instagram. You can follow EC if you want. She doesn't really care because she's not on her phone, so she doesn't care. She doesn't place her value in numerical followers on Instagram, which is very admirable.
Thank you.
Shout out WHHS 300. Follow them on Instagram. Be an active member in the 300 and come and support your Spartans. Check West Hall Baseball Instagram. Check Track's Instagram. Check Tennis Instagram. Check Golf. Check all the sports that are in season and come and support your Spartans. Your friends would love to see you come out and support them in all of their endeavors at West Hall. Be a good Spartan, principled, driven, united, and as always, go Spartans!
1, 2,